Let's see what is going on here. They have changed my go live format. So there it is. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Ray with Spray Wash. Hang on one second. I'm going to grab my notebook. I can no longer schedule these things, it looks like. So just kind of jump on and go live. All right, I am back. Good morning, everybody. It's only saying Facebook user over here, so I'm going to try to flip back and forth to my regular screen and this Be Live, and it might get confusing as hell for me because I'm old and slow, and I apologize, but again, they changed my format on here that I'm not a little quite used to. I hope everybody's having an awesome Saturday. We are really getting close to the end of October already. I know I was carving pumpkins with my grandson last night, and you know what that means, baby. Winter is coming. Winter is coming in a quickness. So we got a few commercial jobs to do today, and we'll be having some fun. A couple things I wanted to go over, and then I'll get into the meat of it, of how'd you get that. I think that's going to be kind of fun. I found something, and again, people think I'm a lot more technically advanced than I really am. Found something on my phone this morning. I always knew it was out here. Screen time. Can y'all see that? My screen time. So I have been on my phone for an hour and 34 minutes today already. Of that, I have been social networking for 22 minutes. It says I have been reading and reference for 16 minutes and productivity for 5 minutes. I know that doesn't equal an hour and 34 minutes, but it does say I was on Facebook for 16 minutes, 33 minutes Safari. It all breaks it down here. So check that on your phone. I don't know if Androids do that or not, but that's a great way to check to see how much time you've been spending on social media. I mean, kind of blew my mind that I had already been on my phone for an hour and 34 minutes today. I mean, it's 8 o'clock. It's kind of crazy. Are we wasting too much time on these things? I still maintain that we waste way too much time on Facebook just constantly. I mean, it's a life suck out there, and we're not. It's not necessarily productive. I mean, it's one thing if you're working on your business and marketing, you know, your business and updating your business listing and getting into sales groups and talking to people and saying, hey, come, go to Spray Wash and it's awesome. And, this is what you should be doing. That's one thing. But if you're out there arguing with people over the merits of air versus booster, or my downstreamer is better than your downstreamer, that's time you can't get back, man. That's time that you could have been marketing your business. That's time that you could have spent building your business, Just think about that. Y'all might see the shirt that I'm wearing out here. I'm going to stand up so y'all can see it. This is a dye sub shirt. This one I got from E3 Sport. You'll notice some of the logos on there. Okay. So those of you that's been following me for a while, you'll know how old this shirt is. It was about 2 years ago I stopped affiliating with one of these organizations. So the shirt's still great. and I probably had this shirt 2 years prior to that. It was 3 years ago that I hosted a Doug Rucker event here in Tallahassee and taught a Doug Rucker school at my office in Tallahassee. So this shirt is at least 3 years old, still fits, still works fantastic. And y'all know I'm a working owner. I'm not just a sit in the office kind of guy out there. So this shirt gets covered in bleach and grease. And whenever guys, I might even wear this shirt for a dress up day. This is what I go out marketing in. And the guys come in and say, Ray, a rig is down. You got to fix it. So these shirts get incredibly nasty. And people look at them and say, well, that's expensive. I mean, that's $80, $90 a shirt. It's worth it, I mean, it's absolutely worth it because it's still just in great shape. Still fits. It hasn't shrunk. Well, maybe it's shrunk because my belly's gotten bigger, but the shirt still is in just absolutely perfect condition, and highly, highly recommend these. I mean, none of my spray wash T-shirts per se are out there, that are 3 years old at least, look nearly this good. In fact, most of those are in the trash at this point, and I get the polyester T-shirts. 95 polyester, 5% spandex. So shirts like this are really, really great investments to have for your business, the dye sub shirts. And again, E3 Sport. Buy twice as much and half as many. Absolutely, Raymond. You're completely correct on there. These things will last you just forever. So highly, highly recommend them. Anyway, now the meat of the message, and I apologize. I've been doing a lot of content for Spray Wash Pro. We're getting ready to relaunch our website. So I'm not really on the Academy free site that much anymore. Whenever I have really, critical information, I share it over at Spray Wash Pro. And I know I haven't been on here all that much. I'm going to try to get back a little bit more, especially as winter time, comes about. So all my things today, and I actually have my notes here. Screen time, my sub shirts. But the real important thing I wanted to talk about is, how'd you get that? I keep seeing this question come up in the forums over and over and over again. And I think it's a really funny question to me. No longer how'd you wash that? How'd you clean that? How'd you get those results? But I keep seeing, how'd you get that job? How did you get that job? You're going to get that job by working, There's, as I said before in this business, there's no magic bullet in this business. And there's no one thing that you can do. Sit back and get comfortable here. There's no just one thing that you can do that says, oh, if I do A, I'm going to get B result. It just doesn't happen in this business. I mean, it doesn't really happen in any business whatsoever. So by asking me, how did you get that job? Well, I'll tell you how I got that job. I cleaned up. I answered the phone. I made sales calls. I put together great sales presentations. I learned as much as I could in this business. I researched the substrate that was on that building. I understood public safety. I presented myself on the best foot forward. I knocked on the door. I asked for their business. I mean, I did all those things. I did absolutely all those things to get that business. There's not just one thing that I could point to. I guess if there's one thing I could point to is show up. And by show up, I mean show up. Answer your damn phone. Be a business person. Realize this isn't a hobby. If you want a hobby, fish. Do model trains. Something like that. But I can't sit there and tell you, and nor can anybody else sit there and just say, hey, to get this $10,000 job, I did this. It just doesn't happen. Okay. I mean, it's you've built a business, you're building a business. What works for me might not work for you. I consider myself an incredibly funny and good looking, charming person. Okay. One of those things is true. I'll let you guess which one. So my sales spiel might be a lot different than your sales spiel. You might relate much better to someone than I relate to someone. Okay? Now, the one thing that'll always help where you can never go wrong in this business is to get as knowledgeable as possible. Know everything that you can know about a particular subject. You know, if it's drive it, understand what the manufacturer says about drive it. Understand that the manufacturer says no more than 600 PSI. You should use a chemical cleaning on there. If you clean it with just pressurized water, that it could actually force the staining, the biological material into the substrate and make it impossible to actually clean in the future. Those are things you need to know, you know. You need to know what the new Hardy board says, you know, what the Hardy board says, the new color treated Color Plus Hardy board says about oxidation. You need to understand what it says about bleach use on there, you know. So you want to get as smart as you can about these things. That's the one. How did you get that job? Well, I was smart. Well, I wasn't even smart because I'm really not that smart of a guy. I got that job because I educated myself about it. Okay? Because we don't have to be smart to be educated. We can educate really dumb people. I'm living proof of that. But as far as you guys, Chris, you are 100%. Because you got off your ass and didn't wait for it to come to you. And Mario, you are absolutely correct. That was what I was going for. I'm just a good-looking guy. It's no personality. It's nothing like that. Hope you guys are doing good this morning. It's funny because, like I was saying earlier, on my interface over here on the Be Live, I'm not seeing. It's changing right now, and I'm not seeing it, so I'm having to look over at my Facebook screen, and there's a little bit of a lag time on there, so I apologize if I'm not getting back to comments immediately. Anyway, back to where I was going. So I keep seeing this, and I see this in all the groups. I see it in Spray Wash Academy. I see it over at PWMC. Blah, 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 blah. I see it in Team Wash Life. I see it at John Tornabenny's group. How'd you get that job? How'd you get that job? Well, Chris is right. Chris Coons said it best. I got off my ass and I went after it. You know? I mean, can I tell you that if you call Tim Fields and got 10,000 flyers that you're going to get X number of jobs? No, I can't, you know? Because I don't know how you're even distributing those. Landon, I don't know if this format is so new. I don't know if the comments are off or not, because on my Be Live interface, it just says Facebook user, but I'm seeing the comments over there, but it says Facebook user. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so, you know, you can order 10,000 door hangers, but I don't know how you're distributing it. I mean, are you walking around that place with a freaking, you know, in a midriff cutoff t-shirt and, you know, with a cigarette hanging out of your mouth, looking like something a cat chugged up, walking through neighbors' yards, just tossing shit out? Probably not going to get so good of a response on your door hangers, you know? Are you walking up and down the driveways? I mean, see, I have a huge problem with people just cutting through people's yards. Are you walking up and down each guy's driveway onto their walkway, dressed decently, putting it on their door, knocking on the door? Hi, I'm Ray with Spray Wash. Just out here distributing some information about our company. Having a special. We're doing free driveway walkways in your neighborhood right now. Secret, are they really free? No, they're not. Price is worked into the house wash. Nothing's free. So again, I don't know how you're distributing your marketing material. Are you putting pictures of goats on there on Facebook and expecting people to flock to you? Well, you're probably not going to get as many jobs that way. It's all about a marketing plan. It's about planning it out and executing it, you know? Plans without execution are just a freaking daydream. But as far as how'd you get that job, I can't tell you how I got that job. I can't tell you that one thing led to any one job. Now, I will tell you this. Whenever you stay in business, whenever you've been in business for 10 years, you'll get jobs, you know? Whenever you create an ownership of customers' minds and they see your logoed trucks everywhere and they see your crews working and just you become part of the city, I guess, you'll get jobs. You know, you'll get jobs from just being there. You'll get referrals from people you've worked for in the past. People will just see you. People will understand you. So, you know, for you new guys out there, it does get easier. Once you hit your 4th, 5th year in the business and really get established, the referrals just start coming in, you know. For you guys in your 1st and 2nd year in business, you're like, well, I'm not getting enough referrals out there. Well, okay, you've washed 100 houses, you know. If everybody on your list referred you one customer, that's 200 houses. Still not that many houses. But you should be going for those referrals. You should be asking them. Are you following up with your customers? Are you sitting there saying, hey, Ms. Johnson, this is Ray, Spray Wash Exterior Cleaning. Just wanted to follow up on your service the other day. And I mean this even after you've gotten paid. I don't mean this, you know, to collect a check. I know a lot of you guys are under the no pay, no spray kind of policy out there. But call them up 2 days later and say, hey, this is Ray at Spray Wash, Ms. Johnson. Hope you're doing great. It was a pleasure washing your house. By the way, wanted to see if you had any comments, if you noticed anything. Do we have any touch-ups or anything like that? You know in your mind there's probably not a touch-up because you've already walked the house with Mrs. Johnson. By the way, if you were happy with our service, I would so appreciate you doing a Google review. And do you know anybody else that might could use our service? I sure would appreciate it. You know, I'm building my business here, and I promise to give the same great service to your son or daughter or your friend in the bridge club that I gave to you. Have you done that? Because that's how I got that job. It's one of the reasons I got that job. That's how I got that job. If you want to know, how'd you get that? That's how I got that. Armando just said, even if you're overbooked, never stop marketing. Keep hustling. Absolutely, Armando. You know, that's why people's production looks like that. Peaks and valleys, you know. You get out there and you hustle your butt off, and all of a sudden you get booked. You're booked like crazy. And then 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, you're sitting there going, where'd the business go? Well, you stopped marketing. You stopped filling your pipeline. You know, for guys that aren't familiar with the term pipeline, it's it's not industry specific. I mean, it crosses industries. The mortgage industry, you used to call it your pipeline. The real estate industry, you call it your pipeline. Any type of service industry where you go and book jobs out, it's called the pipeline. Your pipeline has to be full. So, just like an oil pipeline, your pipeline's full, so it keeps spitting oil out that one end of it. Your pipeline dries up. Guess what happens at the spigot? Bloop. No oil comes out. So you need to be out there marketing yourself every day. You need to keep strategic reserve time out there. SRT. Remember that. SRT, strategic reserve time. You need to book time for accidents, incidents, and marketing. Because the marketing isn't going to take care of itself. Okay, 10 years from now, the marketing tends to take care of itself. I am, knock on wood, I'm at a point where I spend less than $300 a month on advertising and stuff, and 150 of that's on Google AdWords. I don't advertise hardly at all. I might hang a door hanger out in a neighborhood every now and then. Now, 10 years from now, you might be able to do the same thing. Until then, keep marketing. That's how you got that job. That's how I got that job. How did I get this job? I did a great job for Mr. Stevens 3 years ago. And I've kept in contact with him. I've kept him on my constant contact list, and I email him quarterly. Hey, Mr. Stevens, Ray at Spray Wash. Hope you're doing great. Hope the summertime is treating you awesome. These temperatures aren't too bad on you. Keep our company in mind if you ever have cleaning needs. Are you doing that to your past customer list? Because that's how I got that job. See, there's lots of ways to get that job. How to get that job? I knocked on the door of the restaurant. How did I get that job? Tanya spent a year cold calling, stopping by once a month, once every 2 weeks, dropping off notepads. That's how we got it. What's happening, Lou? Hope you're doing well today. Staying safe up there. So that's how we're getting these jobs, guys. Just every day working your business. Again, there's no magic bullet. Some of you guys have seen me say this before at some of my presentations. Closest thing to a magic bullet, the magic tool is this. It's a grinder. That's your magic bullet in this industry. Grind away every stinking day. Grind on it. That's how you're going to get successful. Again, you say, hey, how'd you get that job? I don't know. Because I grind. Because I grinded. Because I used this. I applied this principle. Just worked every freaking day on my business, just grinding away. That's how I got that job. I mean, I see some awesome names that are listening to this, DJ, hope you're doing good, buddy. Hope the new company is coming along awesome. Mike says he needs a Tanya. Having a Tanya comes with a price. Trust me. It does. There's some awesome names, goodness, Lou Zender, he's listening to it. Some smart guys out there. I bet most of them would agree with me. Probably none of them could sit there and say, oh, well, I got this job exactly because I did this. So you new guys out there, stop asking that question. Because there's not one thing that you can do that's going to make it to where you get that one job. It's everything you do. Understand that? It's not one thing It's everything. Well, guys, I hear my crews bumping around out there in the garage. Jimmy, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You guys have an awesome Saturday. Wash on. Hope it's going to be incredible for everyone. And we're going to go out there and wash a few little banks and buildings. And hey, I got 3 banks to do today and another building. How'd you get that? How'd you get that bank? I asked for it. Literally called on them. And they gave me 1 bank. And they were happy. And I provided great service. Then guess what? I got 31 banks. Actually, I got like 18 banks. And then the guy that was doing the other 13 banks wound up going out of business. So then I got 13 more. So now I do 31 banks for him. That was from a cold call. It's everything that I've done. All right, guys, I'm out. See ya. Have an excellent Saturday.